Hi Aries, welcome to your September 2020 Astrology 33 love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as personal readings go, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a break from those probably for at least the next month, but if I do change my mind, I'll make an update to the community section of the channel. As far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the bridge and the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest, cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards with some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Alright, and also keep in mind it's just a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy. If you feel more like that represents the other person's energy and your energy is represented on the right, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that said, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Prince of Staves, which is the equivalent of the Prince of Wands, or rather the Knight of Wands, I should say, and the Seven of Arrows, which is Seven of Swords. So we have some Aquarius energy here, and technically this energy represents Sagittarius, but what I'm seeing with these two cards in particular could just be saying that in the past you might not have been taking the connection very seriously. It might have been more of a casual thing. Maybe you were even treating it more like a friends with benefits situation. But I do have to say, for some of you, this could actually represent a possible self-sabotage dynamic too. And the reason I say that is because with this deck in particular, with Seven of Arrows, if we look at her face, she doesn't look too happy, right? So like if we compare that with the Seven of Swords in traditional tarot, the guy looks like, he's pretty proud of himself for getting away with what he's doing. So here this could have been more of like a self-sabotage type dynamic for you guys where, maybe there was something good, but, you're like, oh, I'm not really ready for that because maybe you had some unhealed wounds. But yeah, perhaps you could just be saying that you were just treating the connection very casually and, not really seeing anything too serious with it. Past energy on their side, a bit different there. We have the Three of Pentacles. So this is actually Capricorn energy, and this definitely represents building something stable, wanting something stable, being happy with the connection. So at the very least, I would say there definitely seems to have been a disconnect between the two of you in the past, where it seems like you weren't taking the situation all that seriously, whereas this person was. And I do have to say as well that can even be, for some of you, why you might have, if for those of you who fit with that self-sabotage dynamic, maybe that was what it was for you, where, this person might have wanted something serious, and because you might have still had some unhealed situations you were dealing with, you might have actually ended up self-sabotaging the connection in that regard. And especially because with the Prince of Staves energy, we see he's pointed away from the cards on that side too, so that makes me feel like, you guys might have actually walked away from the connection. Present energy on your side, we have the King of Staves. So this is the King of Wands energy and Leo energy. And for you guys, through a pretty good chunk of September, we're going to have Venus in the sign of Leo, which is your fifth house of romance, creativity. So that could just have, your mind shift to that area of life. And Lanitas represents growth as well, because, we see the Prince of Staves energy in the past. Here we see the King of Staves. So I feel like this is saying that whatever reasoning you might have had around treating this as a more casual thing in the past, looks like you might have grown from that. It looks like it might have taken you a while, too, because it always stands out to me how those trees in the background look like they're pretty much dead, and you think of Leo energy, at least in the northern hemisphere, we think of summer. So it's like, okay, this shows me that this might have taken you a while to get to this point, but it looks like you are finally here. So we do see some growth and maturity in your cycle. Obviously, we have Mars in an extended stay in your sign until the first week of January, basically. And, having Mars in your sign and then Venus coming into your fifth house could just have you more focused on romance. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Six of Chalices. So for a lot of you, this shows me that the two of you probably aren't reconnected at this time. Now, what's interesting here is, like I was saying in the past, your body language was away from the cards on this side. Now it's turned toward them. and now they're the ones with their back turned to the cards on your side. So um, could just be saying that, maybe they were disappointed with the way things turned out, but there is still that love and that attraction there, because the Six of Cups energy usually points to reconciliation. But here, more than anything, with this deck, it makes me think more of reminiscing, because it looks like she's looking at a painting or a picture of the two people, right? So I feel like this is reflecting, definitely having some positive feelings and emotions around the connection. But at the same time, with the back turn, I'm not necessarily seeing this as you guys have reconciled. Maybe that could be a desire of theirs, but they could still be recovering from if things did go south between the two of you in the past. So that's why I see there. This is Scorpio energy as well, for what it's worth. And the future energy on your side, we have the Prince of Coins, which is the equivalent of the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. So I could see this going a couple different ways. With the Prince of Coins here, this could represent that some of you might actually, again, like I said, I do see a growth cycle for you guys, where it looks like in the past you might have been self-sabotaging, or just, like I said, maybe just treating it as more of a casual thing in general. We see the growth there. Now this looks like coming forward and trying to offer something tangible. And this card could be saying one of two things. It could be saying that you might extend the offer to this person and they might turn it down, or at the very least, they might not be satisfied with the level of the offer. So, for some of them, they may want something more than what you're offering. But another way this could be playing out too could just be saying that part of this growth process for you guys was realizing, with the other options that you may have explored, you might have realized that they weren't fulfilling, and maybe because of that, that's what makes you want to extend the offer to this person. So, could be that way as well. And the future energy on their side, we have the Hermit. So again, this definitely seems like a bit of a introverted, reflective energy on their part. This is actually the major arcana card for Virgo, so you guys both have Virgo energy in the future, and we are in Virgo season right now. So this can be coming up soon, this dynamic between the two of you. But for those of you, if they're the ones, if you do extend an offer to them, this could just be saying that they might just take some time to think about it and really consider if they want to move forward or not. Like I said, if you guys, for example, if they're reviewing this as something very serious, and you guys might have just left the connection behind, obviously there could still be a wound left behind from that. So while the love and the affection seems to be genuine there, it's understandable if they need a little time, right, to make a decision of, okay, do I want to trust in this connection again? So it might just require some patience on your part if you do extend an offer, and that could be what that Four of Cups is pointing to in that regard too, which is to say, okay, you can make the offer, and then you might have to just wait it out and see, what's going to happen. Is this person going to accept it or not? So just something to keep in mind there. And the bottom of the deck on your side, we have Justice. So this is actually the major arcana card for Libra, which is your opposite sign. So again, this could be another indicator for me, like I said, of growth. You guys actually wanting to take the connection seriously now. We're going to have Mercury move into Libra pretty early on in September, and then obviously towards the end of the month, the Sun will be there as well. So that could help energize this for you as far as wanting, like I said, to focus more on relationships. So that's what I see there. And interestingly enough, beneath that, we do have the Ten of Coins too. So again, another indicator that you guys are, maybe in the past you weren't necessarily taking the connection too seriously, but it looks like you've gone through some growth, probably internally, right? And now you're ready for something more. But interestingly enough, on the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Five of Swords. Now, usually the Five of Swords energy is pretty toxic. In this deck, it doesn't point to that as much. It usually actually points more to taking a risk. So I would say what I see here is a bit of a combination between those two things for this person. What I mean by that is, yeah, part of them making you wait might be a bit of like a petty payback type dynamic to an extent, but also it's them trying to decide, okay, do I want to take this chance with Aries again, to move the connection forward. Again, like I said, if you guys might have been treating it a lot more casually than they were, if they were really trying to make it something more stable, more serious, and you were just treating that as more of a light-hearted thing, there could still be some upset around that. So overall, I don't see this as negatively as I would in a normal situation. And with the supporting cards too, like I said, I really feel like it's a combination. That yeah, there's probably a little bit of pettiness in them making you wait, but it's also a bit for them like, okay, do I want to take this risk and open up to this person again? So just something to keep in mind there. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck that I have here. And just gonna shuffle this for a bit. And I did pre-shuffle the deck before I started recording, but what I'm looking for here is just some jumpers. First, I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, we'll just take that as a sign to move on to the next Oracle deck, since it's just a general reading. Alright, so we'll see if we get anything. Like I said, first we're looking for unspoken messages from you to them. Okay, doesn't seem like anything's coming up here. So next we'll see if we get any unspoken messages from them to you. Okay, nothing there either. So we'll move on to the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation. I did pre-shuffle this deck, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and we'll wrap up. Whoa, okay. That was like half the deck, so give me a second to pick those up. We're not going to read all those because we'll be here forever, but I'll keep shuffling once I get them picked up. Sorry about that. All right, take two. Sorry about that. Yeah, that would have taken forever reading all those cards, so that wasn't gonna happen. So it would have been like an hour-long reading. But shuffle a little more, nothing comes up, I'll just pull a random card. So give me a couple more seconds here. Alright, so yeah, I'll just put the deck down, especially before we have more bloopers, and I'll just pull a card. Give me a second. Okay. Alright, we have TikTok. There's the artwork, and the number is 30. Okay, it says timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. The Oracle's message. When humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order, were happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire, so release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. So definitely an interesting message there. And like I said, it did look like you guys have gone through some kind of a growth cycle recently. And with the timelessness thing there too, that might even be pointing to those of you where, like I said, if you might make an offer to this person and you might not hear back right away. Could just be asking you to have a little patience behind that as well, right? Maybe easier said than done with some of the transits you guys have going on right now, but could be just pointing to that as well. The relationship message says love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give and receive it. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time. So, definitely an interesting message there, too. And like I said, again, that could just be another indicator that to say that, okay, that's great if you've gone through the growth cycle now and now you do want to take the connection seriously. Like I said, I feel like the main takeaway with this card and the reading in general is to just say, okay, it looks like this person's feelings are definitely genuine, but you got to understand if they were viewing this as something very serious in the past where you weren't taking it very seriously, that's great that you're on that page now, but you just might need to give them a little time to, open up and trust again. I mean, it looks like you definitely have some supportive energies overall, but like I said, patience might be the key to an extent. All right, so we'll wrap up there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.